Hello, it's Mr. Jewell from Pace again with a story this time about Easter. Words are fascinating. They help us describe what we see and hear and help us send messages to people who may be stood right next to us or perhaps live on the other side of the world. Some words are short, some words are long, some words sound just like what they are trying to describe, like cuckoo or splash. Sometimes words that sound the same can mean totally different things, like bark, the sound a dog makes, or the rough outer layer of a tree trunk. Jam, the sweet, sticky substance some people like on their toast, or long lines of traffic stood still in the road. Pool, an inviting blue tank for swimming, splashing or sunning yourself by, or a game played on a table with multicoloured balls and long sticks called cues. Cue, a long stick for playing pool or a long line of people waiting patiently. Squash, a type of vegetable that's very good for you, or a drink that's refreshing and fruity, or a game when two people hit a ball against a wall with a type of bat that's called a racket. A piece of sporting equipment with lots of strings, or a loud noise made by lots of people. But some words can have two meanings that are not only different, but exactly opposite. The word wicked is often used today to mean something that is really great, like, I love my new bike, it's wicked. But originally, the word wicked meant something very, very bad, perhaps even evil. I'm going to tell you today about a weekend, a wicked weekend. But I have a question for you. Do I mean the best weekend ever, or the worst? I'll let you decide as you listen. I wonder what the best weekend ever would be like for you. Maybe a Friday with your favourite lessons, extra playtime, a visit to the sweet shop on the way home, pizza for tea, watching a movie and staying up late. A Saturday full of all your favourite fun activities, then watching Bournemouth beat Barcelona 9-0. Tea at Nando's followed by bowling with your best friends in the evening and you get 10 strikes in a row. Maybe you'd like a quiet, slow start to Sunday with breakfast in bed, a bacon butty or pancakes or waffles. Then a walk by the beach or a dip in the sea if it's summer. A picnic in the park for tea, followed by watching the sunset, filling the sky with a blaze of brilliant colours. And it all ends without that Sunday night feeling we sometimes get, but rather with that feeling on the Sunday evening at the beginning of the school holidays, when there is so much to look forward to. Now, talking of holidays, in just a few days' time we'll reach Easter weekend. It's a special weekend for Christians. Perhaps you know that the weekend starts with Good Friday, the day when Christians remember that Jesus died on a cross. Now, have you ever asked yourself, what's good about that? It sounds pretty bad and sad to me. Christians believe that on Good Friday, Jesus died on a cross so that the sins, the wrong things we do, say, think and are, of all who believe and trust in him can be forgiven. For Christians, it is very sad, but it's also good because they believe they are forgiven and their broken relationship with God is restored forever. On that first Good Friday, a series of sad events took place. Jesus was given a crown of thorns and a purple robe to wear. He was crucified with two criminals, one on each side of him. He cried out to God and said, "It is finished," meaning he had completed the work he came to do. As he died, it turned dark because the sun stopped shining, and the curtain in the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. A Roman centurion stood and watched this all take place and said, "Surely this man was the Son of God." On the Saturday, nothing much happened. Jesus had been taken down from the cross and laid in the borrowed tomb of a man called Joseph of Arimathea. His closest friends and family and the many, many people who loved and followed him were very upset. It was the saddest of Saturdays. But on the Sunday, wow, what a day that was. Easter Sunday morning was amazing. So much happened. The day had barely dawned when some women arrived at the tomb to find that the huge stone that had been placed over the entrance had been rolled away. The earth shook and angels appeared, announcing that Jesus was not there. He had risen from the dead. Two of Jesus' friends, Peter and John, raced to the empty tomb to check out the story for themselves. They were absolutely amazed, a little confused, but also overjoyed. And there was breakfast, not in bed, but on the beach, of bread and freshly caught fish. Later that day, Jesus appeared to many of his closest friends in a locked room. I wonder what that Sunday night feeling was like. Not full of worry and fear, but full of hope and joy and peace and purpose, because Jesus was alive. So what do you make of that amazing weekend? Was it wonderfully good or wonderfully bad? Maybe that's something for you to think about over the Easter weekend this year. I'm going to finish with a prayer. Please join with me, or just sit quietly if you'd prefer. Dear God, thank you that we can look forward to the Easter holidays soon. As we enjoy resting and relaxing, we thank you for reminding us today of the events of the first Easter. May we find the time to think carefully about this festival that's so special for Christians. Amen.